Here I am with my 32X collection. This is another YouTube video. I wanted to give a closer look of each and every game for any serious collectors who are thinking about this, bidding on this listing. I just wanted to go through every single game to show it from all angles, because maybe, and I apologize, I have to do this one-handed with my cell phone. Afterburner's actually got the warranty card in it still, and label is nice and clear. As I said in the previous video, original 32X games did not come in these hard cases like this. These are Electronic Arts cases, which are actually a little bit thicker than Sega Genesis cartridge cases manufactured by Sega. BC Racers. And, you know, I know that a lot of collectors, they want something that is not only original, okay, in the sense that things are original. These are original 32X titles, original manuals, original labels, etc. These are the real deal. And even this insert is original. Okay, it's not a reproduction. I just got a good deal on these replacement cases. They were new. They'd never been used. They just, I don't know, somebody swiped it from a factory or something. And so back in the day, I just bought these, took a razor blade to my collection, to the boxes, and just made inserts out of them. Okay? And I know how it is for collectors. You know, you want something to be original. Probably the ultimate for a lot of collectors is to have something that is completely unopened, and you can say, hey, it's never been opened by anyone but me. And, you know, some collectors, they are actually gamers, and they might actually open it up and play it. Other collectors, they might send it off to VGA to have it graded and sealed in a package, and then it's never opened for the rest of its days, okay? Well, obviously, I'm not one of those, and I am one of the others. I'm a collector who actually plays his collection. This collection has absolutely been played. And I don't know about you guys, but these hard plastic cases that Sega had for their Genesis games, I loved these things to pieces. I just kind of snickered at all of my friends with their Super Nintendo, because I was like, hey man, you know, what are you going to do with your Super Nintendo? You just put this little cap over the end of the cartridge, and that's it? You call that a day? You don't have any, you know, you don't have a nice little cover. You don't have the art and, you know, maybe a screenshot, and maybe have friends over. They don't know every game like the back of their hand the way you do. And they're just browsing your collection, and they're like, you know, hey, Space Video Game 37, what's this all about? And then you have to stop and tell them. But, you know, with a Sega Genesis game or any Sega game, it was self-explanatory. And I thought these things made the Sega system highly collectible as well. So when they went to cardboard boxes, I was like, man, it really chafed my rear end. I hated it quite a bit. And I had wanted to do this same thing with my Sega Genesis cartridges. But I didn't quite have enough of these plastic cases to go around. So when it came down to it, I decided, you know what, the 32X, I've got a really good collection of. I really want to get as much as I can preserved, because you know how it gets when you take out your game and you play it, and then you put it back in a box that's completely made of cardboard, okay? That cardboard's, it's going to degrade. You might drop it. It might get torn, you know, maybe anybody who has kids, they'll step on it, who knows, okay? The point is, a plastic case like this is absolutely more durable, okay? And that's why, at least for me, as a collector, I've been damn proud just to have this collection for the past 20 years, okay? That's actually how long I've had this collection, okay? Not to brag or anything, but when I did this, I know a lot of collectors out there, they might look at this and say, oh, you ruined the collectability, you should have kept the cardboard boxes and whatever. But honestly, the way I was looking at it at the time, and really it's the way I look at it today, I saw myself as actually preserving these games, okay? If you're a collector of any kind, you're a gamer and a collector at all, then perhaps you'll agree with me. If you agree with me, then I imagine that this will be a collection that's right up your alley. And, you know, obviously the other reason that I'm making this video is because sometimes some collectors have certain games in their collection already, and they look at other collections to buy, not because, oh, I need to get that whole collection, but maybe it's just got, you know, just a few, maybe 1, 2, or 3 games that you're interested in, that maybe you don't have it, or maybe you do have it, but you're on the lookout for a better copy or a second copy. Maybe you're one of the hardcore collectors that, you know, likes to buy multiple copies. Maybe you've got a copy that's in the shrink wrap, and you're on the lookout for one that, you know, that you can use and that you can play. Obviously, you can do that with these, and it's good and durable, and it will last. NBA Jam and NFL Quarterback Club 2. I'm going to pull these out simultaneously because I don't know if you can see this, but these games are actually shorter than the Electronic Arts cases. These are the only two 32X cases. See here, it has the NBA sticker. These are the only two cases that were made, at least externally, the same size as a Sega Genesis case. Okay, everything else that was 32X just came in a disposable, I would say fragile cardboard box. So, you know, at one point I actually thought, hey, maybe I could get a hold of a bunch of these cases. See, the problem is, even though these cases, they look like Sega Genesis cases, but they're not. On the inside, they actually fit the 32X, and the 32X cartridges are a different size, okay? So, when I started looking around, I found out really quickly I wasn't going to get a regular Sega Genesis cartridge to fit, or I'm sorry, a 32X cartridge to fit in a Sega Genesis box, no matter how I tried. So this was the next best thing. Pitfall. That one's got a color manual as well. It's even got some kind of poster behind there, I guess. Promo insert. Oops. Trying to keep some kind of an order here. I don't know about you guys, but I like to keep my games in alphabetical order. Primal Rage. Everything is very neat. It's very neat and it's very clean. The labels are not, you know, they're not peeling off or anything. And also the covers, as you can see, they're quite nice because, hey, they are the original cardboard box, just sliced and diced to fit in these cases here. Shadow Squadron, this is one of the later games. I remember a lot of people actually kind of liked the gameplay of this one. I know I did. Whoops. Space Harrier. 32X, pretty much arcade exact. Very fun game. I always loved Space Harrier. It was one of the first games I fell in love with Sega just playing. And here's the one that I know everybody is going to be interested in. And no, I'm not going to break it up. It all goes with the whole collection. The Amazing Spider-Man Web of Fire. Once again, I want to stress at least the insert that you see inside this plastic case is the original cardboard box. This is not a repro. Okay. This was actually programmed. I don't know if everybody knows. The company that programmed it was Blue Sky Software. That's the same guys who did they did Vector Man 1 and 2 for Sega of America. Here's another uncommon one you don't see everywhere. Star Trek, Starfleet Academy, Starship Bridge Simulator. Yeah. Here's the game that just about everybody got back in the day. Star Wars Arcade. I'm guilty as well. I liked it quite a bit. Would have been nice to see other versions of it, but it was on the 32X. Not quite arcade exact, but a very good conversion, nonetheless. And this one may even actually be a little more collectible now that LucasArts is defunct. Yeah, LucasArts actually programmed that game. Tempo. Similar to a sort of a Sonic kind of platformer. Okay. Now here I don't know if this game is actually rare, but I will tell you I think it's rather uncommon. I read somewhere that it actually was a bit uncommon. I'm uncomfortable calling something quite rare because, it's really difficult to see the production numbers, and those are usually things that are rumored, and you probably hear about it maybe in old game magazines, Electronic Gaming Monthly, and the one that everybody loves to hate on, Game Fan, diehard Game Fan, which was really I'll just hold my tongue there, but at any rate, this game is actually fairly uncommon. I don't see it for sale much at all, and I want to say that I read somewhere that it actually was on the rare side. I forget which magazine I was looking at about it. It might have been an old issue of Next Generation or something that did a 32X retrospective back in the day. Okay. Here's an actual EA Sports game. How about the irony? This EA Sports game is now in an EA Sports or an EA Sega Genesis case. Tough Man contest for 32X. Wimps need not apply. What's that guy in there? Tough Man contest. I didn't even know that thing was in there. Okay. Label's in good condition. Everything is pretty much in good condition. I don't know if this game is uncommon or rare either. Seems like back in the day it was actually very difficult for me to buy. I want to say it came in an oversized box too, because it came with I want to say it came with a T-shirt, or I don't know. Maybe I sent off for the T-shirt here, because I see this is one that I actually removed the purchase symbol, the UPC symbol. I removed it. Somewhere around here, I've got either a T-shirt. I've got like a T-shirt and maybe a poster. And I want to say I got a video with it also. It had some rapper who was, he was like, hey, let's look at everybody's special moves on Virtua Fighter. Hey, hey, hey. And Virtua Fighter. If this game is not rare or uncommon, I don't know. It was very difficult to find when I bought it, because I want to say it was one of the later games. Yeah, 1995, according to this right here, which was right before they said, hey, no more 32X in the USA. Virtua Racing, this one I want to say came out fairly early. This was actually one of the reasons that the 32X was made, this game, Virtua Racing, because the Sega Genesis just didn't have the power for it. And the Sega Genesis version that they did make, they had to put a coprocessor in the cartridge. And, the results weren't quite as good as this. Sega Saturn version is still better. Zaxxon Mother Base 2000. There we are with the Z's. Yep. Everything in tip-top shape. Once again. Now that I've gotten that out of the way, I want everybody to realize, I did show this in the previous video, but I was missing one of the games. Here it is. I've got all 5 in this collection. These are all going together. All 5 of the Sega CD-32X games that were made available. Corpse Killer, Fahrenheit, Night Trap, Slam City, and Supreme Warrior. This was the one that I didn't have at hand when I made the video previously. And it's a standard Sega CD case, a hard plastic case. But as you can see here, it's got a Sega CD key disc, and then the 32X CD disc. And the way the game works is, first you put this game in. If you have no 32X, this game will play the entire game. If you have a 32X, the game will detect it and say, okay, now that you've put the Sega CD key disc in, put this one in. Okay, I guess that's their idea of copy protection, so that you wouldn't just buy this and, maybe give this to your kid brother or your neighbor or something, and then keep the 32X version for yourself. You had to have them both, and you still have to have them both to play. If you have the 32X, then you put this one in, and then you can play this one, and you get higher resolution and a bigger video window, and it's a better game in general. So yeah, there's this one, and there are no cracks anywhere. Nothing missing from this. And I know these cases, they tend to be fragile as hell. Don't worry about that. I'm going to do everything I can do to make sure that the whole ball of wax, including this guy right here, if you're the lucky winner, it's going to get to you in the same condition that it is in now. Everything. And if you're still watching this at this point, I guess I can assume that you're interested. Certainly, I hope you're interested in at least bidding. And yeah, everything is here. Just like, hey, if you want to relive 1994, 1995, this is it, okay? I have personally never seen another collection of 32X games that is quite so complete. So if we're counting just the cartridge games, we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. 26 cartridge games and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 CD-ROM games. So that makes this a near complete collection. There's just a few. There's the baseball game. There may be a golf game or two. There's probably another boxing or another tough man type game. So probably maybe another 4 or 5 domestic games. I know that there were a couple of Japanese games that we didn't get in the States at all. I don't have those. And there's at least one game that was only ever released as a prototype that was called Dark Side. Sorry, that's not here, but it was never available for sale. Okay. Plus, back in 1994, 1995, I and I think nobody else that I knew at the time had the means to actually play it if it actually fell into our hands. So here you have it, guys. This is an original collection. I really hope that whoever wins this appreciates it as much as I did. And good luck, everybody.